He's cooking over here.
Oh man, what's
Subscribe.
up?
Skywalker.
This is Rachel Donaire.
G5.
G5,
Dubrightside. Rachel Donaire, Randy Smith, and D Ray.
Hello.
What up, man?
Hello.
Hey, you know, same old, man. I hear y'all in here cooking. Tim, man, I didn't even know I wouldn't even sell to my own brother, man. I'm like, I didn't get no notifications.
I've only been doing this a couple of weeks. I'm always in
Like, man, y'all on the same team. You ain't on the sub team, bro. You had a big bag of 100.
So salute to you, bro. You made it.
Man, I'm mad. I missed the other night.
4 minutes left on my clock. You know what I'm saying? Man. But you made it within 5, my man.
Man, I was mad I missed the other day. Salute to you, Queen Rachel Donaire. You know, appreciate the job you're doing in the sport. You know, you and your husband. Great job. You know, hell of a career. And hey, whatever y'all choose from here, man, it's all good. Y'all already cemented y'all legacy, so.
We about to go knock out KI, man. I thought you heard. If you seen the first half, we knocking out KI. Next question.
Oh, yeah. No, I know what's going on. I'm just saying in general, like, he don't have to prove shit. He good.
Yeah, he's ready to manage his legacy.
He solidified all.
He good, you know?
That's a fact. Go ahead, Five.
Oh, no. I mean, I wasn't in the
questions for Rachel?
hop in.
You know, I got many questions for Rachel. Hey,
right side corners me all the time.
You know, you like my sister. Like, I look at you like a sister now. My big sister. So, all right. I'm gonna let everybody else get theirs. If y'all got,
are you saying I'm older than you?
You are older than me.
Am I?
Yeah. How old are you?
Well, I just turned 40.
Hey,
man, yeah, you older than me.
40. Go ahead, lady.
I thought you were always older than me too, Dubrightside.
Nah,
man, I'm 34, bro.
Oh, man. Okay. We both 34.
Yeah, really.
They twins out there.
Just a tad bit older by a couple days, or about I don't know, when your birthday, G5? Like March or some shit.
Yeah, March 5th.
Yeah. So you.
I see.
Yeah.
You said 80 what?
82.
Oh no, I'm 88, baby. I'm 88.
You know it. That what it is right there.
Yeah, but hey, but she put miles in on the treadmill. How many y'all gonna put as many miles as she did today? How many miles did you hit, Miss Rachel?
Working like, but look, Rachel. So Rachel, that's my
5.
I look like you as a big sis, right? That's why. That's why I try to corner you, because you know your shit, and I like to be challenged. So I want to give it to the brothers first before I start going. Anybody got anything else about the business of boxing? Because I'm gonna get into some fantasy fight, upcoming fight that I want to ask you about. But so anybody got anything about the business?
Wait, before you guys talk about that, I'm gonna switch my because this phone's dying. I'm gonna switch and go to my laptop. I'll be right back, okay? Can you drop the link again?
She extended the interview. She could have just said, my phone is down, I gotta go.
Because I'm going to get the answer to the question. Man, quit trying to box that woman in, man. She got me on her side.
Hey, there's pressure over here. It's pressure.
Yeah.
Hey,
so,
Quick was here.
I do quickly. I told her about quickly and Ash.
EJ Skywalker, solid, my man.
Hey, you put here. Hey, Five, look, me and her, we done been in multiple conversations. And it's a battle, but I love it. She got that mind, bro. She got the boxing mind. You know you love the battle with niggas who got the mind.
Skywalker did the High Tucker video. I'm not sure about
it's time to go light up. I wasn't going to say it while she right here.
Hey, Skywalker, what time you going to bed, bro?
I'm just going to let it keep rolling, bro. I'll be relaxing. I got to get ready. I'll let you guys keep talking. If you don't hear from me, bro, then it's all good.
Yeah.
Don't miss your job.
My wife gets off of work right now. She gets off late at 11. So
she's gonna be mad as hell at you, but she's gonna be proud of you though.
No, it's fine. This is important. I'm just starting my channel, bro. Great, bro.
Absolutely.
Fantastic job.
It's funny. Yesterday we talking with KQ. He get 100.
Look at Dub. Go ahead, Dub. Go ahead, Dub.
Then we come back today, and it's just me and him, and then we started up, and we got Rachel in the house. And everybody, all the bees,
yeah,
is pulling up.
Rachel pulling up, cause I'm about to burn me one.
He's heading to the gym, Gabe.
What's that?
Smoke you there?
What's that?
Nigga Smoke don't went to sleep.
Yeah, no. Hey, man, what strain is that? What are you talking about?
Okay.
Some cereal milk.
Oh, man. That morning started.
That good.
Yeah, buddy. But I do all my AM stuff. I do that sober. Like, I don't do shit. I don't smoke until I get off work, get done with my
man, you didn't let me on the panel, man. You remember that?
When?
When I came up there.
Oh, shit, man.
You gotta show your face, man. You gotta show your face, man. I said, man, that's me, bro.
Yeah. Hey, KC.
Oh, yeah. I did, man.
Hey, look, and KQ came on the panel with me the day before and talked about it and said, I got to see your face, man. I said, bro, who else got Sanford up here with the mask on, homie?
Nobody, but the way these trolls move, man, they took my whole shit.
Hey, bro, I didn't say nothing. I was just gonna wait till you showed up over here with Skywalker and remind you.
Oh man,
you know, man, when you start talking them fictitious facts on Bud, I gotta say something. And that day you didn't want to take an L, so I didn't blame you. But hey, rebound.
No. Hey, everything I say, I can go pull it up.
G5 say he got a question for you. So go ahead and checkmate him like you did Dubrightside. Go ahead.
Nah. I'm a little bit more swifter than that. I'm gonna ask questions that I'm not gonna get myself boxed in. Right side don't care. Right side don't care. He just gonna go head first then. Then figure it out.
Who got the standard 8 count, bro? D Ray got the standard 8 count. 10-8 round, bro. Not me. It wasn't me.
In the words of the brother Sweet Pea, check the tape. Check the tape.
Go ahead, Fonz.
Oh, I mean, for the business of boxing, I always speak on the business of boxing when I do my lives. I wouldn't mind having you come over there and grace my channel.
That's what it's about right there.
I look at the business of boxing, I think that some a little bit too and more involved in the sport of boxing today. And I see fighters where they may want to fight, but the promoter or the promotional outfit sees something different. How do you feel about that? Do you think that they should be always believing and taking what the fighter believes when they feel like they're ready? Or do you think that the promoter should be able to move them how they feel like they should based on, the trajectory of their career?
The thing is I think like promoters do have a hand in their game and you don't know if they're on your side or not. They tend to do what is in their best interest. I don't like it when I see contracts that are solely one way, meaning to say that if the promoter puts a fighter in front of you, you have no choice, which is a lot of the fights that, or the contracts that I've seen. I think it has to be mutually decided on. Because the thing is that the one thing that the promoters never see is what goes on behind during camp. They don't know. They literally only get to see performance night, and they don't know where the fighter wants to go. Most of them don't ask. They just say, "Hey, we're gonna match you with this guy." And most of these guys, honestly, it's interesting. It's a weird dynamic. Boxers have the most ego, and yet they're timid as shit when it comes to business. So when a promoter who holds your career in their hand, unless you've negotiated your contract really well, will just say, oh, okay. And they're not going to even ask, well, why are you putting me up against this guy? I want to go after this. I want to fight at this. Yeah, they just put you there. So I think the promoters have a little bit too much power I think with more of the, I think Floyd Mayweather did an amazing job of showing that, yeah, you can be promoter and boxer, but you have to have the right team to be able to do so, because the promoter has a lot of financial responsibilities as well when you gamble on yourself that way. But that being said, they need to understand what they're getting into. Boxers can't use that thing about, hold on just a second. Are you supposed to be in bed? Huh? It's 10 o'clock. I napped. Okay, I'll give you 30 more minutes, then you go to bed.
Papa said I have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Papa said just when it's 10, I have to go to sleep.
Okay, good night.
Subscribe to Rachel.
It's a second night in my room.
Skywalker Boxing, Dubrightside G5 D Ray Promotions.
Yeah. Okay,
Amongst
so,
others.
Respectful.
Boxers, no, it's fine. Boxers like to boxers like to pass their, basically say, oh, well, I don't know how to. They have all the means of anybody else trying to get to understand their career, and I feel like they should want to understand their career instead of putting it in the hands of somebody else that might not have your best interest. And what I mean by that is there are one too many times that I've heard a manager make a deal with the promoter not in the best interest of the fighter. The reason that a manager and a promoter are supposed to be in separate fields is to protect the best interest of the fighter. So do promoters have a lot of pull and too much power in the sport? Yeah, I think they do. But I think we're also in an era that we're starting to see fighters actually signing with the one thing that everybody wants, the television network. What do you need a promoter for if you have a television network? Because a television network will put you together with a promotional outfit that is going to promote their fights. If they already have they have you on dates and by contract, and then they'll just put you on a card that's supposed to be, on their network. You have more bargaining power if you have that direct line of communication with the television network than you do if you have to go through the promoter. Buddy card, if you want a promoter agent.
Right, so if Bud could have negotiated with HBO or ESPN on his own, you got a guaranteed. I don't think we'd be at this impasse, so maybe we will.
You can work directly with that. But
hey Rachel, real quick, Rachel, we can barely hear you. If you could come back a little closer to your mic.
You can barely hear me?
Yeah, now. Yeah, now.
Okay. So if you create a deal with the network outside of the promotional outfit, they don't get a cut. There's no non-circumvent. There is no affiliate arrangement. But if you sign a network deal with the promoter, most of the time they will have a cut of it through the length of the contract because they've introduced them. I don't know if
yeah, similar like Boots, Jerome Ennis did, signed a direct deal with Showtime. So, because the network, I do a little bit of homework myself. I'm very studious, so once I learn something, and I went to school for business, so I know a little bit about business. So the network promotion outfit, they gotta contact the television network anyway, because that's where it's being aired anyway. So, I mean, it is smart that you can cut out the promotional outfit by doing a direct deal. You think you'd start teaching classes to try to educate people more on the game if you haven't already started?
Yeah, class and session.
Was the breakdown of the contracts.
Hey, Rachel, you're a little far from your mic, Rachel, a little far.
Seriously?
Now you
Can you hear me? You know what? I think my settings is not picking up my headset. Hold on. Microphone, default speaker.
Oh. Here, ain't you? Come back closer to the mic, please.
We got to hit her jewels. We got to hit her jewels,
Hey, I got a question too, man. Once we finish with this great question right here, but
can you guys hear me?
yes, ma'am.
Good, you good.
Okay. Okay. It was my head. The settings of the StreamYard. It wasn't picking up my headset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was What was it? We got kind of threw off.
Did you think about teaching
classes? Any classes that you might do, or about just inside of the business of boxing, just to teach people, you know, the ropes on what they should prepare for if they want to maybe promote or manage, something similar like you, if it's that fiance, husband, or brother, anything like that. Or you thinking about or already doing that, like trying to just educate people more on the business part of boxing, because I think that that's more important than just the sport itself now, just the way the game and the sport of boxing is ran. You know, it's all about business, and if it don't make dollars, don't make sense, then it's not going to make dollars to these promoters. Are you already into that, or, you know, trying to educate people on that?
I did one live where I broke down manager and promotional contracts. For fighters, it was, I think it was like a 4-hour live. And I pulled all different kinds of manager agreements and all different kinds of promoters, and all of them were all blacked out. But it was teaching like a fighter that is going into any of these contracts. These are the things that are very key in looking for. And, you know, don't just sign, which God knows that Nonito was like that. He just would sign contracts without even freaking looking at the fine print. And I think like just awareness for me, as far as I wouldn't be able to speak on, hey, if you're a promoter, this is what you should do, because I haven't been on that side. I've been on the management side, and I've, you know, in addition to the fighter side, Nonito's experience, and making them aware of things that they could be signing that could be very detrimental to their trajectory of their career path and what they want, and how much they could be, based on the worst contracts I've seen, enslaved and have no choice. There was one contract I had seen that basically said that the manager had the full authority to negotiate deals, yes, but to also sign and take financial instruments on behalf of the fighter. And then, so basically, they can say, hey, you have this commercial deal, and it's $10,000. They can sign the contract without the fighter's approval, and they could also take the $10,000 into their bank account. Now, if you'll ever know that if it was $10,000 or not, you would have to go to the person that gave the contract to begin with and ask for an actual copy. But we know how dirty this game is. So, I've seen that kind of dirty in boxing, you know, and I think boxers don't look at the fine print. I think they see, oh, he's giving me $5,000, or he's giving me a stipend, and in it there's the word advanced against your next purse, which they fight, they go through camp, and they get the paycheck, and they're like, why did you just deduct all this money? It's like, dude, it says on your contract that it was an advance. It wasn't like a gift. And then they get screwed. What are they going to do? They just sign with a manager for 2 years.
Hey, I have a question about the Bud lawsuit. What you think about that? You don't have to be specific about it, but in general.
I haven't really, really followed it super, because I feel like there's all this, I know they're not saying what they want to say, because when there's a lawsuit active, you don't want to give too much information, so then the other party is privy to what your plan of attack is.
This is why I turn it up.
When it comes to, pay-per-view numbers and stuff like that, again, I think a lot of things like that are very smoke and mirror. I think it takes a very long time to get stuff like that even accounted for. And I don't believe there's that much transparency when it comes to that. I have seen with numerous fighters where they have you sign the Muhammad Ali Act, and I've seen them fold the paper so you don't see how much they're making, the promoters. And they fold it so you only see your name and the line. I've seen that. I've seen it. And then if you ever come back and be like, oh, I didn't know how much, the promoter made, I never signed a Muhammad Ali Act, they present this paper folded into 16ths So you have absolutely no idea what the hell you signed. And fighters sign it. It's madness to me. I'm like, what did you just sign? I don't know.
No
They
clue.
told me to sign it. Yeah, no, absolute clue. I'm like, how? Why? How do you know you didn't just sign your kidney away?
Fighters from themselves.
I got to fight.
This amount if I sign this contract. That's why. This what you gonna give me. Hey.
Yeah, but that's detrimental to your next move when you're negotiating fights. How are you supposed to know? Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, well, promoters drive the nicest cars, live in mansions, have huge offices. Well, that money's coming from somewhere. And the majority of the time is that they're giving the boxers the bare minimum. And on the ones that I have seen, I've also seen like to be announced. They'll be like sponsorship to be announced. Then they never announce it. They never update the numbers of how much a sponsorship actually gave into the promotion for that fight. So you don't actually really know the dead worth of what you are worth to the general population of who's supporting your career. You only know what they want you to know, because if that number's too high on that paper and it says 5 million and you only got 500,000, you're wondering, what the hell am I getting paid 500,000 for? If all these people were the revenue from the gate, from the concession stand, from the sponsorships, and from the TV is worth $5 million. No promoter wants you to see that.
Okay, man, just one Canelo.
But boxers sign it. So if there's a lawsuit that comes in,
yes, ma'am.
There's that way out.
And one other question I'd like to ask you about real quick, if I could, please. Earl Spence was talking about misleading headlines was like bad for boxing, and I just wanted to get your opinion on that, if I could.
I mean, I think a lot of it is clickbait. And I think that when people do a lot of the smoke and mirrors and stuff and create fake news, I think it really does hurt the boxers, especially.
And content creators and
it makes for bad blood for absolutely no reason. For example, if they said that Spence said something that he actually didn't, then of course the next time, like for example, if Spence said something against Nonito, supposedly, right, and someone wrote about it and there's like sources say Spence said this, the next time Nonito sees Spence, it's gonna have some little, problem in the air, right?
Absolutely.
And the same thing goes with promoters. I think more so promoters than it does with boxers themselves. Most of the boxers I know get along, but when a fighter is in a predicament and they don't really say anything, but then someone from his camp or a news reporter says someone within Teofimo's camp says this, then about Top Rank, then Top Rank, trust me, reads all that crap. And it creates an animosity between Top Rank and Teofimo, who had no idea that anything was said to begin with. And they get the backlash. So, these little, these clickbait articles and non-accountability of the source is really detrimental to the reputation and the business relationship between promoter, boxer, and manager.
Okay, my last one, I promise I'll try to chill after this, but you give such great answers.
Yes,
now, what about a promoter saying that they lost money on a fighter? Can they get away with trying to say that? I mean, is that now that's not misleading? I mean, I'm not sure, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
We'll never know if what.
We're gonna open them books up.
We'll never know because the books are never open. Right. What is your idea of losing money? A lot of these promoters do have special rates that they're given from the site, the event venue, especially if your promotional always uses the same event venue. Most of the time you already establish a relationship in the game that they would give you a special rate. Now, I guess my question is, what do they mean by you lost money? Do you mean that you lost profit that you were counting on? Or are you really in the negative? They've never ever answered it that way directly because it's a play on words. Now, if you lost money because you're counting your eggs before it hatched and you only made 100,000, versus you thought you were going to make $500,000 or $1 million, do you really call that a loss of money? Because you never had it to begin with.
Especially when it's taken out of the network's budget and not the promoters, but just for the promoter to be able to, say something negative about a fighter that he's that he's taking money from. To me, it's just shameful and bad for the sport of boxing. But somebody else can go ahead. Thank you again.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's a play on words, and no one's willing. I'll tell you this much: in journalism, a lot of them are afraid to talk anything badly about a promoter. They're not going to push them because they're afraid that the next time that comes around, their media credentials not going to be approved. So they don't want to talk badly about a promoter. Now, if it was someone who really didn't care and wanted to know the truth, and they asked the promoter, "What do you mean you lost money? How did you lose money? Did you lose and is it because you were counting your chickens before they hatched because you were projecting that you would make that? Yep. Or are you saying you lost money in time? What did you lose exactly? Did you actually have it, or was it your projection was failed?
There's going to be a tax write-off.
As far as we're supposed to make $2 million on this fight, and we only made $500,000. So you feel Rachel, like your investment in time and energy into the project wasn't beneficial as you wanted it to. No one wants to dig and ask those questions because they like the play on the words, they like the clickbait to be able to say I lost money. Explain how. Give me the economics. You've been in business for how long? So tell me the profit and loss and where that didn't meet to your standards. How?
Let's close the argument.
How much do you think Top Rank is gonna open the books up? I'm sorry, I just had
no. Hell no. Hell no. No.
Okay, thank you for the quick answer.
Well, I'm taking them.
This is gonna get settled for just that reason.
What?
I think that's one of the. I feel like that's a prime indicator that this is going to be settled. That they don't want to open up the books.
We got to settle, bro. We want to see the books.
The last time a lawsuit came up and Golden Boy opened up their books, and that seemed to be like
that's
it was revealed how much Canelo's
books.
Revenue fueled all of Golden Boy's other fighters. I think they had like 197 fighters and 99% or 98% of the book was Canelo's revenues alone, and I think that sort of just shifted the way everybody saw Golden Boy. I don't know. It just seems to me that one of the last things that I ever want to do is let the public view his actual his revenue.
Yep. Because like I said, boxing is a smoke and mirrors game, and I've heard and seen even managers take deals from promoters. Like, okay, well, the minimum of this guy is going to be $800,000, but we'll present them $750, and we'll give you $200 on the side. Any of those side deals will be opened up in court. Like, why do you think, even Arum didn't want to talk about Kinahan, and when he was like, "Oh no, I don't deal with him. I deal with Fury." Well, someone found out, or someone exposed, that he had actually paid Kinahan on the side $1 million or $2 million when the Tyson fights got made. The Tyson Fury fights got made. Why are you paying that guy $1 to $2 million on the side? If that is the manager of Tyson Fury is supposed to pay him, 5, 10, 15, 30, depending, out of his own purse. But you're telling me that the hand that was moving it to get the fight signed, the manager you're supposed to trust, which is Kinahan, was actually getting paid from the guy he was supposed to protect his client from.
Dirty.
Man, you know Pepper Bob.
He lost that money yet.
Man, Pepper Bob don't make those deals, man. Pepper Bob know what he doing. Go ahead, my bad, respectfully.
Wasn't there a bunch of MTK global fighters at Top Rank at the time, though? It wasn't just Tyson Fury. I know at least Josh Taylor. I know he's not this big property but I think there was just more than one. I'm not sure how many. So maybe it's just two. Also.
The thing is, I think it depends on how long the fighter's been with MTK. I know Kinahan had left MTK in 2016, 2018, something like that. The only reason I know about it is because when we were in Belfast, they were talking about it, about how one of their big bosses had left.
I didn't know that that's who it was at the time. But when I put 2 and 2 together about who they were talking about and researched, then I just put 2 and 2 together. So I think it depends on, like, I think the older fighters for sure, the ones of when it first started to begin with. But the younger ones, I don't think they were privy to that kind of relationship. It's kind of like arum, right? The younger fighters don't necessarily talk to arum, but the older guys have access to him.
Right. Well, hey, if you're the top of the division, I mean, if you're the top of the class, you got access. If you're the top of the top. But those individuals coming out of the Olympics, those type of things, yeah, you ain't access.
You know, arum does not take a lot of meetings, right?
Man, I got.
He's not the one that like will sit down. He'll mostly have Todd do it.
Bob has no clue. They were talking. They asked him about the Devin Haney deal when that fight was going on with Cambosis and Bob.
In this recording right here on Devin Haney.
He was like, hold on. This is what he said though. He was like, I'm not quite sure how many fights he has with us. I think it's like 5. I think it's 5, but I don't know. But I'm sure somebody knows. I'm saying like, man, what the hell? What do you do, bro? Well, we know. You got other people, like you said, Todd the Buff. Man, who is the black guy that's always beside Bob? Who is that? You know him, right?
Derek Harmon.
He be. I mean, they ask a question, man. This is what they ask.
Well, checkmate, man. She just checkmating you all over this board tonight, man.
No, that's why I look at her.
She done won 9 rounds of 2.
No, she educates me, bro. She educates me all the time. That's why I love her. That's why I can ask her.
Absolutely, educating us all, bro.
Works as Bob Arum's security now.
Okay.
He's done a great job, though, huh?
I like Derek. He's a good person.
Rachel, let's get down to the nitty gritty, man. Buddy Spence, who you got in the fight?
Man, come on, man.
My brother D Ray over there said, go ahead. Rachel, break the fight down. If you can. Respect it.
We're going to check this in a second.